Hey guys, Gene here again, up here at my local drone port, aka Fairgrounds, to do another little range test. It's a beautiful, perfect day with very low wind, crystal clear, no clouds, and I'm going to run the ND16 filter today because it's so bright and nice out, and we'll see how it works. I haven't tried any of the filters out yet, so this is the one that came with the package. ND16. Got my number put on the side, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, the gnats are eating me up, but we'll get this flight going. I don't normally use a landing pad, but for this I'm going to. For some reason my battery's only 94%. That's kind of common. But we'll hit record, get our video going. And for today's flight, I'm just going to fly in 1080-60. Let's try the HDR, which is 4K 30. We'll just do that. I want to see how the HDR looks. Start recording. I'm going to leave everything in auto. And away he goes. Just going to fly this one in normal mode. And I'll adjust the height as I need to for my signal strength. My first range test, we got out to about 3.25 miles. I turned around at 60% battery. That's just me being cautious. I don't want to lose anything. And I don't know why these batteries always seem to, they. I don't know why these batteries are always like 95% or 94% when you first turn on the drone. I mean, I've just fully charged it a day ago, but they all do that. Every once in a while I'll get 100%, but not very often. Just being able to turn the gimbal by sliding your finger across the screen is pretty darn cool. So even though you're going straight, you can look off to the right or left. I wish there was an automatic centering to come back to zero without doing it yourself, but no, we're at over a mile. Everything's going smooth. No video signal breakup at all. Hopefully in about a month Well, it won't even be that long. These fields will be all green. They're all planted right now, so everything is growing already. We'll have a totally different view in about 2 weeks, I think. And on June 11th, I'm going to have my second hip surgery done, so I won't be making a whole lot for a couple weeks. A lot of videos anyway. I haven't played with the map a lot. Yeah, see, I put my fingers up above the antenna, and sure enough, it gives me a weak signal warning. But when you hit this, the map then zooms back in, down on the left. I wish it would stay zoomed out. Coming up on 2 miles. And I don't know whether to keep these antennae pointed straight out or straight up at me, because I'm getting that weak signal right now. There we go. Huh. There should be no interference out there. Just took him up to 390 feet. The little thing down in the middle of my screen seems to be working really well today. The drone's pointed directly away from me, and it shows me pointing at the drone, so it's actually working. I'm going to go to 55% today, guys. I'm not going to take it down to 50 like Dustin Dunhill. The furthest I've ever went this direction with my original Mavic Air was 3 miles. And I had to bring it back for battery and landed with like 9% left. So I expect better out of the Mavic Air 2 with the OcuSync 2.0 because it's supposed to be so great, which so far I'll agree with that. I've never had a DJI drone with OcuSync, so this is my first foray into it. Normally with my drones out here, it's always been about battery, not signal strength, even with the Wi-Fi signal. So the other day I went a little over 17,000 feet before I turned around. And I had better signal strength that day than today so far. I'm going to keep moving the gimbal up and down here. Looks like it's doing well even though it's in the red. We're still at 65%. I notice it gives that low battery warning, but it doesn't actually return to home even though it says it is. Even with one red bar down there, it still says, or still shows a nice clear picture on the screen. Getting a little jittery on the feed. Still moving forward, but I'm not getting a lot on my screen here. Okay, now I pointed the controller down so the flat end of the antenna is straight at it. And that seemed to bring a couple bars back, so that answers that question. We're at 61%. So point the flat end of the phone holder, kind of hold it horizontal if you want range, and point it directly in the direction of the craft. Don't hold it so it's pointing straight up. Yeah, we seem to have beautiful. It's all working great now with 2 bars on the video feed. Never been out this far before, everybody. This is a pretty sweet drone. Okay, 55%, 25,000 feet. I'll put up on the screen what that is. And we'll return to home. And you see down there in the middle of the screen, it points right back at me, so it's working great today. Now I'm going to cancel that so I don't have to hear the beeping, but I'm just going to hold the stick straight up. Seemed to be going faster when I had it in return to home and holding the stick up, so I'm going to leave it in there. And this beeping seems to be a lot less annoying than the previous drones I've owned. It's a lot quieter. I'm going to just tap the power button, and it does not shut off. The beeping. So I canceled the return to home so I don't have to listen to it. Still doing about 27 miles an hour. 51% battery, we're doing good. I'm not sure how this is going to look until I download the footage with that ND filter on and I have it in HDR. Battery temperature is good, flight time, voltage is good. See what percentage I land at this time. Check the map. 46%. Whenever I put my hands up there to mess with my phone, I always stick my fingers on the top of that antenna array and it just cuts my signal right out. Just approaching 3 miles again. Still got good feed. I'll fast forward through some of this. This gets to be awful long. I mean, I've been recording for over 15 minutes already. Seems to be faster when you leave it and return to home and push full stick forward. So I'm going to leave that beep and we'll fast forward over the next couple miles. I'll play a little mood music. Not gonna lie, I'm getting nervous here, guys. 26% battery, got a mile and a half, almost 2 miles left. This is where your heart gets pounding. My friend Jeremy Ryan over at Montana Drone, he didn't quite make it back to himself because of wind out in Montana. And I can imagine how he felt doing that. And I feel about the same way. I don't know how Dustin Dunhill does those range tests all the time. This is pretty darn stressful. Coming up on a mile left with 20% battery. Probably shouldn't be this nervous, but I am. Those white buildings off in the distance, that's I'm right by them, so. Start my hat cam back up. Looks like we're gonna be just fine. I wouldn't want to push it any lower. This is gonna be my longest range test with the Mavic Air 2. Even if I had a percentage, like 100% battery to start out with, I don't think I'd do this again. My heart's kind of pounding off on my chest. and it's starting to drop altitude on its own. I'm not going to let it. The controls are really jittery. Notice how it dropped speed at 10% battery. I don't like that very much, but we're going to make it back. It's trying to land itself, and I'm not going to let it. I'll let it drop in altitude now that I'm almost back. Boy, it turns sluggishly and pretty funny. Yeah, it does not like being low on battery. It's awful wiggly and jiggly. Alright. That's as much as I'm going to do, guys, so hope you like this test, and I'll put up all the stats up here. 23 minutes. Battery's awful warm, which because we're at 3%. So I'm going to go retrieve it, and we'll see you on the next one.